apologize for the underwater sounds. It's a fan. Okay, so we're in Barbara's apartment now, which is a work of art itself.
Thank you.
And it's like visiting Sweden.
Well, this is like Sweden, old Sweden, but it also is a bit of new Sweden because my parents were both from Sweden. So all my art and all my influence comes from my mother and father because they were both very, very creative.
Oh, isn't that wonderful?
I even have a painting of his primitive art, and it's just gorgeous in the bedroom. And that's, I think, how I got started. It's hard to know. I remember sitting on a table in my home, and I was drawing a picture of Santa Claus, and I was going to send them to all my friends, and then I got bored with it because I didn't want to copy that many. And I think that's how I ended up making prints of things that you could go to the printers and copy them.
Right.
Because it got old doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
I wish I saved some of those things, but...
Well, you were born in this country?
Oh, yes. Born in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn?
Yeah. And
you don't sound like you were born in Brooklyn.
Well, I grew up in Connecticut.
Oh.
I really don't know why I do. I helped my daughter collect Coca-Cola paraphernalia at one time, and I all of a sudden loved red. So everything my frame was red if I could do it. And these are all my favorite Swedish artist was Carl Larsson, and that's one of his there.
Are you able to speak and write?
No, I just know enough to get in trouble. And my parents did believe not to speak Swedish because they wanted me to be 100% American.
And you have brought some of these back from Sweden?
Yes, Orange horse is called a dollarhäst. That means a horse like a doll.
Oh.
And years ago, farmers, when they were in the snow and ice all winter, and sometimes salespeople would come around, they would carve little horses to trade with the salesmen.
Oh.
So these are just a lot of different horses. As time went on, they didn't draw just all those orange things. They did all kinds of things because it became a thing where they made money, you know. So they still do that. And my Swedish father made this little cabinet for me to put things on.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And he also made this.
And that is gorgeous too.
It is.
Now, you said both your parents were creative. What was your mother doing?
Well, my mother she started out by painting some things, and then she liked crocheting. Someone taught her how to crochet. And she did some knitting and smocking when she made my little clothes for me. She would smock. So that pretty much was her skill because she was always busy cooking and baking. And, you know, you didn't go to the grocery store like you do today. You do it all yourself.
Yeah.
You know.
But that's artistic too. I mean, being a certain kind of cook, I think, is a very creative experience.
And she didn't cook Scandinavian at all. My father would always have a fit, you know.
Really?
But this character behind here is Quan Yen from Vietnam. And my husband was in the military at the time, and they came across a bombed out temple, and then all that was left of it. And he carried that home. Go ahead and do it. So I can't recall now what the picture actually means, but you can turn it upside down. The pot at the bottom is a lady's face, if you can see.
Oh, yeah. She's got blonde hair. And that is her dress.
And there's the butterfly in there, and flowers, and these words.
I know people really value all of the drawings that you did for church every Sunday morning.
I'm so glad.
Yeah, and then they even made a crayon book, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Uh-huh.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, and at least one. I think there was one at one of our retreats.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
This is real rare. I found this wall hanging. It's material of some kind. And I would love to tell you what it all means, but I'm really not sure. And you know, everything was painted red in Sweden because they mined iron ore, and when they melted it or whatever they did, they had a lot of red left over.
Oh, yeah.
And so they painted all their houses red in the olden days.
Oh.
And some people still do over there.
And it looks so cheerful, too, in the winter time, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because they have rather long...
Way up north there's very little summer. See
Yeah.
red till this day, if I go to a secondhand store and I see red, I'm tempted to get it. I have to stop myself.
All right.
All these are Swedish-made pillow covers here.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, I think the way you have arranged these beautiful things from Sweden is a creative endeavor, too. I mean, it's just a very artistic result. I think there are many ways to be creative. Yeah.
So many
Mm-hmm.
ways.
And
Well, that clock is a traditional Mora clock, and they make huge, huge ones. And my son has the one that's for real.
oh,
And they started. It was against the law in Sweden to send them old ones out, but now they're making them to look like it. I remember going to an antique store and seeing that. And this is Christmas time. You'll see that in their windows every Christmas.
now some of the flowers on that candle holder
Yeah.
remind me of some of the flowers that you created.
Yeah, that's a little bit of me too.
Uh-huh. You know, I think the first time I ever saw this, I thought it was a woman friend of yours who'd come for a visit. Where does it say?
See it right to the bottom of.
Oh, 1919?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Wow. That is so beautiful.
And that's the style hats they wear on holidays.
Yeah.
Well, I went to Sweden for a year too, and kept sending things home.
Oh. You went to Sweden for an entire year?
Yeah. 60s.
60s? Okay.
Soon after my husband died. He died young. So.
Oh. So one entire year. Gosh, that's great.
I know.
So when you were in Sweden for a year, you were an English teacher.
Teaching them. One time I made a Monopoly game in Swedish
Oh.
for them, what Swedish I could tolerate.
Yeah.
And sometimes we play hide and seek with the little ones.
That's great.
So in the wintertime, we put a whole bunch of snowballs together to make a little house.
Mm-hmm.
And then we put a candle in the middle because it would get dark so soon. And it just looked pretty in the yard.
Oh, I bet it did.
Yeah.
Remember when you started working in this style of mostly doing flowers and
Yeah.
other natural pictures?
Well, I would sit here and look at those things
Oh.
and get inspired very often.
I wondered if that was an inspiration.
This is what I draw with, and these are the ones that you're almost sitting on. See those rolls?
Yeah.
Whenever the rolls wear, the pencils, colored pencils wear out after a while. So you have to keep getting new ones.
Oh
So-
my goodness.
so-
Do they sell a set like that, or this is something you created?
You have to buy this cover separately,
Uh-huh.
and it comes like this. when you see them in the store. It comes in a little box like this. And here's another bunch of them. And I have to.
Oh, okay. So you apply paper to the backing, and then you draw on that little piece of paper.
Yeah. Can you reach that red thing that has the clip on it? The red clip? That's what I draw on it. Used to draw. I put it here.
Mm-hmm.
Then I try to find my favorite pencil. And sometimes you can get one that's good and bad. But what I do is I draw, you know, oh, that's something like this. It might do a tulip here.
Uh-huh.
And then, I don't know what you call this one, but it's going to end up being purple.
You already know in your head what color you want it to be.
Yeah.
So you got a tulip in the middle and a purple flower next to it.
Right.
And you decided that, and now you're doing the sketching. And that looks like sort of a daisy.
Mm-hmm. That's pencil, and then I do it in ink pen after that and erase the pencil.
For some reason, I didn't realize that there was black in your...
Everything I do is outlined in black.
Oh.
Copied after
Yeah.
Carl Larson in a way.
Uh-huh.
He does watercolor, but somehow he aligns them mostly with black.
Yeah.
If you can see,
Uh-huh.
everything here is a black outline.
Yeah, I see that now. So you were definitely influenced by these wall hangings.
Right.
I'm going to look much more carefully now. Why didn't I? I mean, I'm just not observant enough to notice that there was black around the color. But that, well, that's why I do things like interview you so I learn.
Yeah. Well, most people don't notice.
Yeah.
This is just what I use.
A Sharpie? Mm-hmm. And that's permanent?
Yeah.
Is that scary?
Well, it is scary when you start copying it, because if you make a mistake, forget it.
Right.
I put more little lumps and bumps on it, added to when I made a mistake. I take it to the printer, and I think, well, maybe it'll look better after it's printed. But of course, it never does.
Oh. Well, I always love getting a card from you, Barbara.
Years ago, I made Argyle sock, and I quit.
One Argyle sock.
I'm never going to do that, right?
That's funny.
I used to draw for everything, even in high school. And I always helped decorate the formals we had.
Oh.
And in nurses training.
Oh, that's right. You were a nurse.
At one of my lifetimes.
One of your lifetimes?
And their their almanac after we get when you graduate.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I drew funny little pictures of characters doing things, like taking the bedpan out and things like that.
They're proud.
Right, yeah.
Now, you did something really nice here, too.
Well, that's just a way of putting all the family together. That's my husband and I there.
Ooh, he looks, very dramatic. And you're so beautiful.
He was into drama, too, in college.
Oh, see?
He had a great voice, too.
Did he?
Played the guitar.
What a beautiful couple you are.
This is my father's artwork.
Oh my goodness.
And he draw from memory about his memory of Sweden.
Oh, that is so wonderful.
And that was one of my first drawings up there, but I used flowers.
That
I
is,
can't remember how I got the idea for that.
well, do you think that how you became so good at drawing was because of something genetic, or do you think it was watching how your father worked, or?
Well, it started when I was about 5 years old. I used to copy cartoons in the paper. And in first grade, I remember drawing, we were studying ape man or early man.
Uh-huh.
And I made a picture of a man reaching up for grapes on a tree. Those are my first memories.
Wow. Now I see the black. I'm so glad you told me about that.
Uh-huh.
So first you sketched it, and then you did the black outline, and then you colored it. Oh, that's gorgeous. And there's one, I have a terrific picture of you at one of our Christmas concerts back a couple of years ago here.
Yeah.
And you were wearing that hat, and you look so cute.
This one, right.
And that's one of your pieces right there, smack in the middle above your bed. Thank you so much, Barbara Leissner, for sharing some of your creative life with us.